All right, well, thank you so much for being here. We are live streaming on Facebook right now. I'm Matthew J. Peters. I'm with the Brilliant Futures Institute, and we are here at Connect Bradenton in Bradenton, Florida. And today I have with me Angel Anderson. We're having him back coming into town to teach us today about the customer journey and the customer journey map. So without anything else, I'm just going to introduce Angel here and let him take over. So,
thank you, Matthew.
Right, thanks.
Thank you. So, thank you. If you don't know who I am, just let's start with the intro, just, to get it out of the way. My name is Angel Anderson, and I help entrepreneurs and business owners get return on investment on their marketing activities. Talking about marketing, do you do any type of marketing for your business?
Well, I'm working on that.
You're working on that.
I am definitely seeing the need.
Yeah, I do email and website promotion.
Email, and you're working on it. Last question on that before I get going, to get an idea. I know you catching it right, but what you hope to get from your marketing, or what is the purpose? What you want to get out of your marketing activities?
Grow my business.
Grow your business. So you share something, for example, and you expect that post to help you grow your business. Mm-hmm. What about you, Kathy?
Well, I think because my business is so new.
Okay.
And I just came out of a large organization that had all the marketing and all of that to support me. I'm really wanting to just get visible. Visibility is really important.
Creating awareness. Okay. And awareness will lead to sales.
Exactly.
Okay. And for growth, what growth means to you?
Growth means more clients, more revenue into my business, and influence too, because I want to build something bigger and bigger. So influence is big to me too.
More clients, more influence, more sales.
Yes.
You say revenue, which that's what we want to.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do share, content online. I do a little bit of marketing, but what you guys said, you share something online as well. This will sound a little bit familiar to you. You wake up on Monday after a really good night of sleep. You're feeling energized. And today is the day that your business will change. Today is the day that you're going to grow. People will know about you. You're going to grow more, get more clients, more sales. And you are an expert. You know what you need to do. Whether you read books or took training, you say, I know what I need to do. That might include Instagram images, stories, Facebook posts, maybe an article, maybe a video for sharing. Today's the day. So you get up, you go through your morning routine, and you start hustling. You create that image, you share that post, you update the website, you send an email, and at the end of the night, you sit down to wind down, and nothing. You haven't seen the growth that you expect. While you start reading your emails and looking through Facebook, like we all do, you see something about webinars, and you're like, that's what I got to do. Well, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow, Tuesday, you wake up after a great night of sleep, and you tell everybody you're going to do a webinar in the afternoon, and you're going to teach them. And you repeat the same thing. Create an Instagram post, share a Facebook post, send an email, create a video. You do the webinar at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's when they told you to do it, and crickets. Nothing happens. And you scratch your head, and you start losing your motivation, but you're resilient. You can make it happen. So you're going through your shutdown routine one more time. The same cycle. We all have a cycle. Read emails, go through Facebook, and you're like, you know what? I know what it is. Not enough people saw my webinar invitation, so I have to do some Facebook ads. I'm going to do some Facebook ads. So I'm going to stay up late. I'm going to minimize how much I sleep because I need to set up this Facebook ad. And I've created a Facebook ad because it has to start at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And I'm going to make sure it stops right before the webinar. You're shaking your head because you know this is what's happening. And you get to the payment part and you're like, is $5 enough? Is $10 enough? What about 20? You know what? I bet if I put $100, enough people will see my webinar. And it's all math, it's all numbers, right? The more people that we see the registration page, the more people that will register. The more people that register, the more people will attend. The more people that attend, the more sales I make. So you put a Facebook ad to start at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you execute that Facebook ad, and you repeat the same webinar. And you start the webinar at 4, you finish the webinar, guess what? Crickets. Zip. Nada. And now you're down $100. You laugh, but you know it's true. That's exactly what's happening today. And you go through your shutdown routine. We all have a cycle. We go and we read emails, scroll through Facebook, and you're like, I really need that $100. And so-and-so told me webinars will work. I did something bad. It didn't work, or he didn't know, he didn't teach me properly. I did a webinar. I did Facebook ads. Facebook took my money. Facebook ads don't work. And you see a post that says, podcast. Launch your podcast in a day.
That was my ad.
You see how that sounds? But that's exactly what we do on the day-to-day basis. Instead of stopping and seeing the big picture, how our products and services and what we say fit into the customer's journey. Where the customer is in that journey, that do they need or are they consuming? My customer is consuming a podcast or a webinar. Or are they ignoring all the Facebook ads? So my aim today, the majority of the time today, I want to help you create a map, that a picture that will help you prioritize what content and message you should create, when to share it. So you get growth, so you get more awareness, and you keep getting more book. Doing exactly the same things you're doing. But because the thing is, people didn't come to your Facebook post or webinar or podcast, not because you don't have something valuable to say, but maybe you don't have something valuable to say. That's some of us, we have to be true that we're just copying somebody that copy somebody else. But it could be that you share a message that your customer no longer has that pain point, or he's before that pain point or after that pain point, and it's that customer journey. Meaning, let's say that I want to prepare for a marathon. Do I start with the shoes? Do I start just jogging because I'm out of shape? Do I start eating? Where in the journey do I start preparing for that marathon? The same thing with your product. So if you do have a picture, a map, you can make a better decision of what video, what message you can create. So it's not me telling you create XYZ message. You will see clearly what you need to create that will add value and move that to that customer and move that person closer to the next sale. The framework is simple. And that's where I want to spend the majority of the time, because I want you guys to have a paper in front of you, and I want you guys to just entertain me and go through the exercise. It will add a lot of value to yourself and to your business. So there's four steps in this framework. The first one is to create the map. The second one is to plan the content around your picture, your map. The third step is to create the content based on your plan. And the fourth one is share it and schedule it, or one of the two. So I don't think we're going to have time to create content today, but definitely to create the map. So I want to start with step number 1, and it's who you want to help. And I think that's where a lot of people are not clear enough, because as entrepreneurs, we want to help everybody. But that's where your message gets diluted in the noise of the social media and the emails today. So for example, I started saying that I help entrepreneurs and business owners get return on investment on their marketing activities, but that's not specific enough. And I struggled with that sentence for a long time. In reality, a better answer will be, I help Matthew Peters get return on investment on his marketing activities by identifying the right technology needs and planning a roadmap for the next 6 months of his marketing, something on that nature. That's more specific. Why is more specific? Because I can see Matthew. I'm seeing his face. I know he's a male. Now, that doesn't mean that I will not market to females, but I need to start somewhere. And if you create a product map or a customer journey map for males, for females, for your low-end product, for your high-end product, for your product or services. Now, if you still, I jumped and I didn't, a customer journey map is basically an illustration. An illustration, a diagram that illustrates every step a customer should take when interacting with you, your products or services, whether it's online or offline. From the moment they became aware to what you did to convert them to the next sale. It's just a big picture. That's where a lot of people are missing. So if I'm helping Matthew, I know he's a male, and I know the tone of voice I'm gonna use with him. Where I can get a hold of Matthew, where Matthew hangs out. By just looking at Matthew and interacting with him online, and you have this information for your customers. I know Matthew's spending quite enough time in Instagram, and I can reach him on Facebook. And if I do have time, depending on my skills, I can go and look for his podcast and interact with him on his podcast. But it comes down to your time and skills and resources. So because they told you that webinars work, if you don't have the time, if you don't have the technical skills, why are you going to jump down to webinars or podcasts? So if I'm going to search for Matthew, I'm going to say, okay, right now I want to build a community. So Matthew hangs out on Facebook and Instagram for the most part. I got to pick one. I can pick more than one. And again, it becomes to your time. I'm picking one. And I will strongly advise that you just go for one right now. And then create the content for one channel and distribute it in the other ones. But for now, until you either have a bigger team or have people that create content for your marketing, just use your resources wise, create content for one channel. So let's say I'm creating content for Facebook. I'm going to write Facebook and the traffic source on number 2. Now, I'm going to jump a couple steps because it will make more sense to you. And I'm going to go from the traffic source to the first product, which we call it the low cost offer. That's step number 5. So you picture that one, your first product. I'm not saying make up one. I'm saying what is the lowest product that you offer that particular client? What is the lowest product I can offer Matthew that will give him value and will eventually move him closer to my next product or service? Give me an example. A book. Okay, that book is a good a good low-cost offer. A book, I call the books the ultimate business card, but I will go a little bit more simple. I say that something that he can consume right now, today, that will give him immediate benefit. So knowing Matthew, I know he values time. What if I give him the top tools? And I know this is plenty of people that share this resource, but it's like a new cooking book. People still buy them because it's a new spin on a new angle. So if I give him my top productivity tools, it's something that probably will catch his attention and how I use them. What tools I use. In my case, that for him, that will work. In your case, what product or services did you offer? A book?
Author, yeah.
You're an author.
But I'm thinking like an ebook, so maybe it's a small little short story or a short piece of history. So it's just a little bite-sized thing. If it's
I've seen people that give the first chapter, and that works really well. I've seen people that give the first chapter. I say, but hold that thought for a second. Hold that thought, because I'm talking about the actual pay book. So giving away, we're talking about we're going to the step number 3, which is the lead gen. So I just want you to think right now, the lowest product or service you can offer this ideal client, the one that you wrote in this piece of paper, that will give him some value. If it's just the book, it's a non-fiction or it's a fiction book?
It's historical fiction.
Okay.
You didn't expect that.
No, but I love challenges. I love a challenge, because a non-fiction you can package that to interview, strategy calls, or a how-to video, a mini class, etc., etc., etc. That you don't have to reprint it or repackage it. Basically, you do it once and you offer it multiple times. But so let's say it's the book. For me, it would be a checklist, a resource, something that he can consume right away. So now that you have the first product, here's where the map becomes useful to you, and when typically the lights start going off, the light bulbs. What I need to do for Matthew to become aware of this resource, what you need to do, say, for that person that you wrote in that paper to become aware of that product or service. And most likely it's not going to be a podcast or a webinar. It could be something so simple as sending that person a Facebook message. But sometimes we just want to automate too fast, too quick, and we want to scale up too fast, too quick before we fine-tune the small details, before we understand the actual needs of our customers. So if you were going to sell that person the book today, what will be the first message or the first marketing material that you will send that person so that person become aware of your book? Be bold. Just ask for it. Be bold. If you don't ask for it, people are not going to take action. But think about this. You're selling me that book. Let's say that I'm a potential customer. I don't know anything about it. What would you say to me? Hey, Angel, have you seen this book?
Yeah, I mean, is it that simple?
Angel, don't be cheap. Buy my book.
Don't be cheap.
So think about, and you have, so the first step, just to backtrack, who we want to help. The second, and you have the dotted lines there so you can write that person's name. And in all honesty, if you're going to deep dive on marketing, age range, likes, books, forums, places the person hang out, a picture. So one of my reasons for pointing out Matthew, I can see a picture, and that is very powerful when you see that person's name. You don't have to share that with the world. Just create a Word document and say, this is my target. I'm targeting Julian. He's a techpreneur, 31 to 45. And that's so powerful because, you know that people from 20 to 29 speak a certain way, and then when we become older, we value other things. So that's when you start tweaking your message, and it's all about connecting to that person. So between the first product and the traffic channel is your message and how you're going to capture that person's attention. So in your case, the lead magnet, which is step 3, could be a chapter of your book. Give them enough value, hook them that if they like it, you already captured that information that you can follow up with them. Resources, checklists, a compilation of links, that could be a good lead gen. Then it will be, that's between your product, and then so they can establish a relationship with you. Because at first, assuming that they don't know you, how are you going to capture their attention? And how they're going to create that relationship? How your email will keep hitting that inbox instead of hitting the promotional tab? How Facebook will know that your post is something that Matthew wants to see if you haven't interacted with him in the past. So what can you create? So the question becomes, what can you create that will create awareness? What can you share that will create awareness? That will cause that person to say, okay, I'm going to give Matthew a shot and I'm going to download or even pay him $10. Because the lead gen doesn't have to be something for free. That's something that we all assume, that we always have to give something for free. And I think it's a trend that eventually will go away because you are getting the people used to the freebies and not to pay. So you capture their attention, they consume your first piece of product. How are you going to follow up? And you have it right there on step 4. Did you download it? What you think? Can you give me some feedback? But also a lot of people miss the opportunity to introduce the next product. So before we get really in depth into a customer, because I'm not seeing your heads, I think you are thinking like.
I still don't know what to put on this first dotted line. I really don't know what my target is.
Who was the last person you sold a book to? First dotted line is who I want to help.
I want to help a house,
You want to help a house.
but I really want to help the community to save that. Is you know what I mean?
So in your case, it's more like a movement that you want to create.
Correct.
Are
I
you?
like what you said though, because my demographic definitely is not the millennials, because they don't see the value in saving. Well, maybe they do. I shouldn't say that.
Oh no.
No offense to anyone.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, so if you still want to see the big picture because this is how the customer should interact with you. But once you pick, so in your case, it could be that your opportunity for growth might be. I pick up the phone and said, you know what? Here. I don't do that, I'm just checking in. Never done that, but it's follow-up because it shows that you're still paying attention, that I'm looking what you're doing, and I'm still offering value. And one day it's going to be so much value in the scale that you're going to say, okay, Angel, I'm ready for you now. So offer something that they can consume right away, create that relationship, follow up. Did you download it? What do you think? How can I improve it? What do you think it comes next? Can we talk on the phone? I could throw names all day long, but I don't know how versed you guys are in the marketing world, but I've been reading reports, Amy Porterfield, Jeff Walker, and that's one of the biggest opportunities for growth. It's not, yes, I'm going to rely on automation, but for example, I read a research or a study of these big wigs this week that they realized that a lot of people were buying their products, but they didn't have anything for sale. The big picture, you go step by step. Who I want to help? where I'm gonna find Matthew. What's gonna be the first piece of content that I can give Matthew to establish that interaction? And then did he download it or he ignore it? And if he ignore it, that's the first no in the map in step 3. If he ignore it, what can I do? Now, you've been to websites that they do pop-ups or bots or things like that. That's for you to talk to the marketing guy, and depends on your resources, time, and technology, how much access you have. But at least it's something that you can put a pin and say, if I'm bleeding leads through a no, but I know my lead magnet is solid, what can I do to find out exactly why they're not taking it? Meaning, maybe I'm attracting the wrong people. Maybe because if they're not taking it, then they might not see it useful, that you have to talk to a different group. It could be that. So that's something for you to put a pin on it. But assuming that Matthew took the lead, I'm going to follow up with Matthew. And that's where at least, you map out your follow-up sequence, your follow-up messages, your follow-up social posts, your follow-up videos. And then you introduce the next product. And the process repeats itself. Matthew bought the product. Yes, sir.
Question. So the number 4 follow-up message, if it's a no, you recommend that you survey them to find out why?
This is what a lot of people are not doing for the sake of automation. When it was the last time you pick up the phone and ask a customer why you didn't buy my product? You laugh, but look, I've been doing this for many years, and I was one of those. Sometimes I spank my own behind, and I'm like, Angel, you're gonna go one-on-one. And sometimes I pick up the phone, and I call people that I don't know. I pick up the biggest ad, and I call somebody that I don't know. And sometimes I just call customers. And what I have identified is that by getting to know why they bought or why didn't buy something allows me to fine-tune my marketing and my message, because your marketing might be not in line with the customer experience. They bought something and you thought they experienced A, but they really experienced B, and now you're not managing, you're marketing out of expectations. They're receiving something completely different. Last week, I started creating messages that I wanted to ask people questions, and I shared on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and I sent an email. And to my surprise, I was sharing this with Matthew, and nobody else knows except, now the world. Somebody, a big wig from Las Vegas, replied, somebody that owns a show, and reply, call me anytime. And we were on the phone for over an hour. And now, I'm thinking first of all, the call, it wasn't to make a sale. It was to actually find whys, to get better at what I do. But I was blocking myself. You laugh when I'm going to call somebody, I was blocking myself I don't see myself selling a video service to somebody that owns a production show in Las Vegas, a theater in Las Vegas. The only thing you can do is ask, what's the worst thing he's going to say? So, to end the conversation on that, he ended up inviting me to record a video. So I'm very excited about that. Follow-up sequence. So they download the lead magnet. Number 4, what message are you going to share? After that, how you're going to introduce the first product. So if I'm already in communication with you, they downloaded your chapter 1. Matthew downloaded my resources. How can I introduce a video class? How can you introduce the book? You downloaded the chapter, what you think about it, you get some feedback, you can improve your marketing, your copy, once you start seeing trends. Hey, Do you want the paperback? You want the ebook? You introduce the book. And, Matthew, what you think, etc., etc. What do you think about this class? This class is going to help you XYZ based on the resources you downloaded. So the idea with the lead magnet is to get them to consume something really quick and fast that they can get results immediately, but also adds value to the next product. So in your case, they speed up the process. They already consumed chapter 1, so they just got a head start. In my case, if I talk about in the first class, I talk about these tools in a specific, he already learned about the tools in the lead magnet. You're thinking, I'm more than willing to give you examples. You just gotta share with me. What are you thinking?
Well, we've been working on this, like how do I do that first lead magnet that you're called? What do I put out there to make, because right now what I've been doing is posting like other people's articles that are coming out about the research. And it's just kind of exploding on how we process trauma to help people connect with me. And yes, I do have this information and I'm wanting to share it, but I haven't got past that yet.
One way that I've seen it in the past, but I'm going to encourage you to do something different. One way that I've seen it done in the past is that you survey the last 90 days of your social media, pick the top posts, and see what trends or commonalities you see in those posts. And if they're all about 3 resources for CPR, then don't talk about anything else, and your first lead gen is going to be a CPR. But you have to go to what they like and share and comment. However, my advice will be for you, not for your marketing person, the owner, the one responsible for the big bucks in the business, to pick up the phone and get on the phone with your potential customers and ask them questions. Why? No leading questions, no yes or no questions, no assumptions. You have to eliminate your assumptions and all that. Don't assume that they they had a trauma. They might, and then they might share that with you. But no assumption, no yes or no questions, open-ended questions, and just dig deep to see why. That will be my suggestion to find exactly what they want. Because if you don't do that, even with the top shares, you're only assuming that that's what they want. They haven't told you for a fact that they want that. You have to validate that idea. If you don't validate it, that's why so much content out there that without giving the owner, the entrepreneur, results, because they haven't validated that. Now you can take a step back, and once you validate it, you can come out and pre-sell like we all know that we should do. But that's a conversation for a different stage. But validate it, know exactly what they want. Don't just research online and assume that because 10 websites compile this information, that's what is going to be what your customers want. And I will start with people in your network, except family and friends. Except family. Like Facebook friends, reach out and ask them those questions. Send a text to somebody and get on the phone and just really get it in a conversation to find out, have you ever thought about saving a building? What do you feel? Things of that nature, because they are going to give you what you have to say to attract more people like them in the big web. Once you offer the first one, the first product, you just repeat the process, and the map will show you, yes, they bought it. What I think about and brainstorm about the follow-up. How my follow-up is going to introduce the mid offer. So the reason why I'm sharing this one with you with 3 products is because my hope is that once you map out the first one, you see that you're missing out a big chunk of opportunity. You don't have with a single product, you don't have what is called a product ecosystem. And where a lot of entrepreneurs and small businesses fail is because they only have one core product and services. But they fail to realize that there are other services, whether it's digital or physical, that they can be providing to that particular customer to move them along different stages. Meaning, you have 3 products. Let's assume that the top high product is the one-on-one time with you. Let's assume that. You're gonna coach them on, or tell them what you know about historical and your experience and what led you to. It could be a keynote speaking. That could be your top product. And for you, it will be a training, for example. For me, it's going to be that. It's going to be a one-on-one training. What comes before that? So for me, what comes for me, it will be a class that he will consume. So one-on-one with me, a class that he will consume and do on his own, and then something before that. Different stages. He might not be ready to execute a big 6-month plan on marketing, but he wants to know what needs to happen in order to plan that 6 months. In trauma, I might want to know how to talk to my kids. I know you say your target is nurses or healthcare
professionals. Yeah.
Are you missing parents?
Well, that's been in the back of my mind since this last week has gone by. And I'm like, wow.
And
coaching, parents to help.
When you see news, and it's sad to say, but you have to do it, especially if your message is in line with or solve a problem that the market needs or needs to solve. With what happened, you jump and just be very loud about it. Parents, you need to talk to your kids about X, Y, Z. You see what happened, X, Y, Z, and you hijack the news in your favor. You roll the news. That's another subject about editorial calendar, but basically you join the conversation.
And you think that joining that conversation on Facebook, like picking up on some of these things that are already being kind of like posted and responded to and ongoing, or my own, just kind of put my own something out there on Facebook.
When your message is in line with what's going on in the news and is trending, you are going to take off. And the problem is not going to be if my message takes off. It's going to be, can I handle the attention now? Mm-hmm. That's going to be the question. Mm-hmm. What will happen if 2,000 people overnight request your products and services? That's a great problem to have, but sometimes companies go out of business when that much attention, or they were not ready.
Right. That's why I've been hesitant to post anything this past week, although I thought about it a lot and what I could do, what I could say. But then it would be putting me out there, and am I really ready for that yet? Or the controversy that could be surrounding some of the things that...
I just mentioned today, I don't know your expertise, how passionate you are about the subject. But I will tell you for a fact, if something in the news jumps about marketing or time management and I hijack it, I welcome the haters because I love those 2 topics. So if you are passionate about it, if you have the expertise and people put you in a corner, you stand your ground and you share based on what I know based on 20 years of experience. What I know about writing this book and the research I did, nobody can question you that. You have the experience. It's completely different. I said, I just graduated, I've been doing marketing. I started online in 98, but I really like marketing in 2003, probably. That's when I started doing hardcore. And I got my BA, marketing and public relationship, but practicing is way different than getting an education. knowing what works and doesn't work is not what the school is teaching the kids these days. It's not what I thought. And even when I got my MBA, it wasn't nothing that I will apply into my business. Just the critical thinking and the big picture view, but that's about it. Mm-hmm. If you have a lot of experience and somebody asks you about trauma, how passionate are you about it? Do you actually want to solve that problem?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just go for it.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about it.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Okay, so I'm gonna recap before we get too lost. Keep this paper. This paper is a picture of a flow, and the framework works for all the businesses. You gotta help somebody, no matter who it is. Your product service is for somebody, and you're gonna find that person somewhere. Whether it's if they're Catholics and they're in the Sunday Mass, or they're in Facebook, or they're in a podcast, or they're in a forum, you're gonna find them somewhere. You know where they are. If you don't know, your job is to find where they hang out. And that's why there are steps and there are arrows so you can follow. Once you know that, how can you capture their attention? And how can you start creating a relationship with them? Think about the lead magnet, your chapter 1, or a resource of tools, or a resource of websites. It doesn't have to be yours. You just gotta take the time to compile it for them. It might be a video that you create, or a technique for parents, or whatever it is that whoever you're targeting, and create the relationship and follow up. A lot of people don't follow up. Even with automation today, a lot of people don't follow up. I will tell you, in the last 10 plus years, it's been my only secret. I still land clients 10 years because I pick up the phone and said, you know what? Here. I don't do that, I'm just checking in. Never done that, but it's follow up because it shows that you're still paying attention, that I'm looking what you're doing, and I'm still offering value. And one day it's going to be so much value in the scale that you're going to say, okay, Angel, I'm ready for you now. So offer something that they can consume right away, create that relationship, follow up. Did you download it? What do you think? How can I improve it? What do you think it comes next? Can we talk on the phone? I could throw names all day long, but I don't know how versed you guys are in the marketing world, but I've been reading reports, Amy Porterfield, Jeff Walker, and that's one of the biggest opportunities for growth. Yes, I'm going to rely on automation, but for example, I read a research study of these big wigs this week that they realized that a lot of people were buying their products, but they didn't have anything for sale. How can you find that information? How can you recapture that opportunity for growth if you don't talk to them? Give them something they consume right away, follow up, ask them questions, collect feedback, introduce the first product, and repeat the process again. They got the product, how I'm going to follow up, what I'm going to say, how I'm going to introduce the next product until you get to the big one. And then at that point, they might be in a different stage of their life. You can switch them to the second product or service. That makes sense? Yeah? You're smiling.
I'm glad I can.
What about you, Kathy? What I need to, is anything that I'm missing that I need to connect the dots?
I think the follow-up is key. Because I do get responses just from information that I share that I may make a one-sentence comment, but yet I'm sharing information from other sources that, and then I get lots of responses, but follow-up is key. I think the follow-up is really, really key, and I think that's still kind of like, you know, once I, you know,
So-
staying connected
so
with these with
Here will be my if I was giving you guys homework, here's where the homework will come in. She's like, no homework.
assignments.
Here's the homework will come in. Once you write down, you know what? If you do fill it out, I'll give you an incentive. Fill it out by tomorrow, and you send me a message by tomorrow. I'll give you guys a one-on-one and maybe give you some ideas. If you fill it out, if you do who I'm going to help, what's going to be the traffic, you know, and you just write down in this piece of paper and you send a picture. Here's where this becomes powerful. I keep repeating how you're going to create that attention, how you're going to follow up, and that's your content. So if you just draw a line or another piece of paper, I'm going to follow up with X, Y, Z. This is the plan, X, Y, Z. Did you download it? What do you think? Do I need to prepare a survey? Do I need to Google Forms, a video? Then I need to get a email marketing sequence because I want to my traffic market is email, and I want to automate the follow up, and I'm going to give them the download via an email follow up, an email link, and I'm just going to create the other three emails, and the fifth email is going to be, for example, hey, you know I have this. And the sixth email is going to be like, why you haven't downloaded or bought my book? And you repeat the process with that, you're going to end up with so much content that the question is not what I need to create. The question is when I'm going to share or schedule that. And you have it in front of you. You know when. I'm not talking about a day or a time. I'm talking about when on the map. So if you're talking about a keynote, but the person even hasn't downloaded your first book, why you think that person is going to even look at your post or your email? So you need to know where they are in this process so you can share the right message at the right time. If you do it, I give you guys a link and we can talk for an hour, not charge. That's the homework. But the deadline is tomorrow. It's so easy. You just got to write it down. You don't have to come up with ideas of, emails. Just write, who you're helping, where you're going to find them, what's going to be your lead magnet, what's going to be the first product, the second one, and the third product, which is a product maximizer. The idea is to challenge you to create a product ecosystem. That way, you have a higher chance of making those financial gains that you really want. Because let's face it, we all in business to make money. Yes, we want to help people, but if you don't make money, how are you going to help them?
You got to put the mask on yourself first, then the plane that's going down.
Yeah. I want to keep traveling, so I'm going to keep helping people so they can help me keep traveling. Yeah. With that said, for those still watching on live stream, leave any comments.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you to Angel for coming down to Bradenton again, an hour and a half to come down here and share share this with us. One of the things that is overlooked so much in marketing, and Angel is the type of person who does this, is he reaches back out to people, find out how he can serve them better. They talk about automation so much, you forget about the personal touch. You forget about asking people what they actually need. And what did you think about this? How can I serve you better? That's missing. And I really appreciate Angel giving that a voice. So, yeah.
I think this year we're going to see more personalization. You're going to see some hacks of people with images and your name on the image or in the video, and you see personalization, but it's still going to capture your attention. Even though that you see the image is a script, but they took the time to create it, so it will capture your attention. But personalization is key, and the one-on-one. And it's not scalable for a lot of people, but it's a most in every business, because if you don't ask that question, you're only going to assume that that person needs that particular product or service.
And an assumption is going to keep you kind of in this low level.
It's going to keep you in the cycle. You're going to start with a sharing a post, then you're going to jump to a webinar, then you're going to jump to Facebook ads, then you're going to jump to a podcast, and you're going to keep jumping to every channel, and you are not going to figure out why. A message and a follow-up, if you think about it, what I need to do to attract this person's attention, I'm going to follow up. And what I need to do to, it's in your mind. You don't overthink it. Just introduce the next product. Have you bought my book? Will you buy my book? Why not? It's your book. Be proud. It's your baby.
It's true.
It's your baby.
Yeah.
Kathy, questions? Don't be shy.
This was really, really helpful.
How? I'm going to ask the question now. How?
Well, I think the fact that I have I can relate to what you're saying as far as Facebook posts, thinking about, okay, doing, a live Facebook, and then, maybe, doing some kind of a video and putting it on Facebook. But I think what has really been helpful for me in this is to ask why. Like pick up the phone and talk to people on the phone who have responded and to interact with them who have responded. And not make it so difficult, just kind of get to know these people who are responding anyway.
Let me share with you a resource of a graduate student that he did when he was doing his master. It's called 100 Days of Rejection.
Love him.
Yes.
I've seen that. It's fantastic.
But why are you afraid to ask the question?
Right. Yeah.
So the point is for you to get rejected 30 days in a row. Like one post I'm shared, and you guys can search for him, is he went and asked for a burger refill at it was Five Guys. Five Guys, I think it was. He asked for a burger refill.
And they were like, we don't do that. But they were so intrigued that he asked, they gave it to him anyway.
So the point is, but like I went to Ybor City last weekend. I asked a lady, can I see inside your bag? And she let me see inside her bag.
Like a complete stranger.
Yes. It was a group of four of us. One lady, 3 males. Another in the group asked, can I have a sip of your drink? To another lady. And the lady gave him the BK cup to us. We asked for crazy stuff. Get married to get a green card, social security number, you name it. But the point is that you never know when the person is going to say yes. And you're so used to getting rejection that it doesn't bother you. But if you don't ask, you don't know when that customer will say yes.
I preach it to my kids, but I don't do it. That's sad, right?
I'm trying not to be that parent. I'm not to say I'm not saying it. I'm trying to be the parent that I have a 11-year-old and 8-year-old, and he just turned 8 today. And I want to be the parent that don't lie, but somebody you hear it. Don't lie, but somebody knocks in the door and said, tell them that I'm not here. I don't want to be that parent. I want to. So, yeah, Matthew.
We have Yvonne and Karina and another person online, so you're watching. Yvette is online.
Thank you, Yvette, Yvonne, for watching.
And they're saying a lot of great content, and they're quoting you on here. So fabulous.
I will go back and tonight and look over and I will reply to any questions. But so for you, it's the IY. So it was more a strategy. But I will exhort you to look at the map. Even if it feels overwhelming, keep it and go through the sequence, because this is the sequence that your product and services will be sold. You have to give them something. You're selling a product, which is, let's say, step number 5. What happens between number 5 and your initial creating awareness is up to you. How you say it. But all that will happen. You have to create they're going to try you, whether it's a low-cost offer or something for free. And once they do that, nobody's going to go and say, you know what, I don't know her, and I'm going to hire her for a keynote speaking gig. Nobody's going to do that.
See, that's what I thought too. I'm like, oh, once they know I have all this knowledge and experience, they're going to hire me for a keynote speaker.
If that happens, tell me what you did so I can repeat it.
Okay.
I'm going to repeat it. But I haven't.
Anybody to speak a lot for free, but I haven't had any.
So here's my unless they're friends. So I'm doing it for free here, Matthew. This is something I will encourage you to do. Have them cover you. Let's say it's in Florida, gas and a meal. At least getting them to start, yes. Cover your expenses. And then if you have to travel, at least, even if you don't charge for the 5K or, whatever number you want to make, but get them used to, okay, cover your expenses because they will value your message a little bit. Now you might be just filling a hole versus, okay, this is what it's worth it to me.
Good advice.
Yeah, I mean, can I just kind of share a situation
Yes.
right now?
Yes.
Okay, I have a workshop that's scheduled for actually the date is set. It's March the 11th.
Okay.
And it's a 2-hour workshop, and I have done this workshop several times at different locations. And it is on trauma-sensitive yoga and the whole focus is an education piece for an hour, and then we go through experiencing, like some of the yoga. So it's a 2-hour workshop. And I charge for that. And I have a flyer, and I put it out on Facebook, and I put it in my email attachments, as I send my emails out. And so, and people come, but they're usually people who already know me, and they already do yoga, and they already kind of are getting the value of how this is an intervention for trauma and how much more effective it is than therapy and medications and things like that. But I would like to do something different. I would like to somehow reach more people, and other than just the people that I already know who are coming because they already know me.
If you can afford it, I would say if you haven't tried, reach out to everybody that came in to the previous one and tell them that you're going to have a whole 2 days. So either the 10 and the 11 or the 11 and the 12 or so another week in advance. And if they invite somebody to the 11, they get the next one for free. And in the next one, which you're not making as much money, make sure you record it and you get video testimonial, so at least you get something out of it.
Okay. And then the follow-up messaging then is, as you said, reach out to the people that have already been to one of my workshops and ask them.
So follow-up messages is, I think sometimes we complicate them. So if I'm in person, if I'm one-on-one with you, and I attended to your workshop, I'm done with you after the workshop, or would you say something else? Typically, what would you do? The workshop is done, and that's it?
And that's it. Mm-hmm.
So that's where the opportunity for...
That's I talk about are things that you could do on a daily basis at home. These are tools in your toolbox to take wherever you go.
Do you follow up with them? No.
No.
So that's where so think about the follow-up as just a conversation with somebody else. Don't see the follow-up or this as technology. This is just how you will say something to either capture attention, follow with somebody, or get that feedback. What would you say? Technology, we didn't talk about technology. We're not talking about email or nothing like that. How you implement that message, that's for you to determine after you plan it. So for example, Angel, what you thought about my workshop? Where can I improve? 2 questions. Great. I'm collecting this survey. Do you mind if I share the results with you after I'm done? Perfect. Did I miss something that Is anybody that you know that I could invite? And you continue. It depends on. I don't want to put words in your follow-up. It's your personality. How you talk to them. So I'm very marketing oriented, and probably it's a bad for me, because I will say, what you thought about that? What do you need next? Do you need help with something? And I will start digging until I find if it's something that I can help. If not, I will send them an affiliate link so I can earn a commission for the referral. But that's the way. That's me. You might be slightly different. It might be, you might be more caring. You might be, mama bear. It depends on your personality. So if you think about marketing, you have something that a lot of people don't do intentional, is the tone of voice. And I'll give you 2 examples. 3. I'm going to give you, and all insurance. So we're not talking about books or trauma. Geico, Progressive, Allstate. And once I explain them, you're going to see the difference. And you got to think about that, how you're going to communicate with people. Progressive, I come to a shop and they show me what, and I customize and I pick. Geico is the cheap, say 15%. 15 minutes can save you 15%. And Allstate is your family, your friend. What is the voice that you're communicating to them? What's your personality? Is your voice in line with your personality and with your message? Or are you saying, I don't want negative people, but in your message is saying something else? It's okay, you're empathetic, It's a lot to think about, but all starts with knowing what to say. You know what to say, and you see the big picture. Even though that is 8.5 by 11, you can transfer this to sticky notes and put it all over your map and just map it out. But once you have the big picture and you have the message what to say, the technology will come. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we've got a couple questions here.
Okay.
And then they're asking about how they can get a call with you at some point. So where can we put that? Do you want them to message you?
No, once I drive back, so once I finish today, 2 hours, I got about an hour and a half drive, I will post a link, or I scan it. Well, if we have an empty one, we can scan it and I give it to you and you can upload it. Okay. And we upload it in the comments so you can have it. And if you complete the assignment by 11:59 p.m. on Friday, you get a call.
That's an hour call with you.
Yes, I will send the link, and then you can pick the day and time that fits you, and we'll look my calendar.
That's awesome.
It is awesome, thank you.
I've got a question here from Karina. She says, I want to get this big name in town as a sponsor. I don't know anybody there. What would be a great approach to open the door and make them be a part of a community project?
Without knowing who the big sponsor is and what Karina does, I will say, how can you capture his attention? How can you hack his attention? So I give you an example that a lot of people have at their disposal, Facebook ads. If I wanted to capture Matthew's attention or Kathy's attention, I will figure out where she works, where she spends most of the day, and I will create an ad within that address, and I will make sure that it says, Kathy, call Angel. And that ad will follow her on Facebook all day long. But it depends. How can you hack the attention of somebody? It depends on where they hang out, what they do. Can you retweet more of what they do without asking or nothing in return yet? Can you reshare the content? Can you create a video sharing what you learn about that person? Let's say that I learned about Matthew, a 3-step process. I implement the 3-step process, and I'm the poster child for his process, and I can share my results putting Matthew in a pedestal. There are many ways, but I don't know who the person is.
The company is Zappos.
Zappos? Have you done a tour with Zappos? You got to do a tour first with Zappos. You got to invest in that tour, and by the way, it's good. You got to do a tour with Zappos, and I'm sure if you catch the CEO there, he will stop and talk to you. That's just Zappos culture. She's in Vegas? or she's
I don't know if she's in Vegas. Yeah, she lives in Vegas.
because just go over there and
Go to Zappos.
yeah, go to Zappos.
We're in-
Yeah, go to Zappos. I forgot where they're located, but I know where. I left Vegas in 2012, so.
And Yvonne says, Corey, I'll go with you.
You just go to Zappos, but I would highly suggest to invest. See if the CEO is doing a tour, and go and take the tour. They do events, yeah, and they do events with him there. So I know for a fact they do events. So just hack his attention, and and do a video about Zappos. How much you love the culture, even though they got acquired by Amazon, right? Yeah. So now they're big. Yeah.
So thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming out again. And so I don't know if I'm on camera here. Yes, I'm good. Okay. So if you are watching this within the next couple hours or so, Angel has given an offer to hold a call with you to speak specifically about your business and your situation with him. But we have a sheet here, and I really liked, before I work with people, have them do homework to see if they're serious. So this is the homework. He went over it today. Download it. I'm going to put the link down below here to it. Download it and fill it out, and then contact Angel. It is on your website, Angel Anderson.
I will post a link for for anybody that send the message with the post. I send the calendar link.
Okay, and then you can book a time
Yeah.
that fits the schedule. Yeah. So, all right, thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you for your questions.
Done with my homework.
You're done with your homework?
You're done with it? I don't know if it's right, but it's done.
Eh.
You don't have to look at it now. I know you need to get home, but especially with a birthday.
I need.
I'm Leela, by the way.
Leela.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.